warrior. More. Sniper Ghost Warrior 3. Available 127.17.
They say that battle changes you. It makes you stronger. More ferocious. A monster in the night. Watching. Learning. Hunting. Each time I enter the pit, I emerge reborn. Put the devil on the other side, and I will show up. Evolved. Adapted. And prepared. To fight.
Someone asked me once if I remembered how it all went down, as if it happened so long ago that anyone could forget. So yeah, I remember. I remember when our homes and our towns turned into graveyards, when the wilderness became our only hope for survival. I remember when the planes fell out of the skies, when the trains stopped running, when the turbines shut down, and the world went dark. I remember when they put up the razor wire, like it was gonna stop anything. When the feds ran out of body bags.
Rope.
And some of us sort of lost our minds.
I think it's dead.
Some lost more than that. Much more. I remember when we lived by a code, when brotherhood meant something, and living meant more than surviving.
Goddamn liar!
So yeah, I remember how it all went down. I don't give a damn about any of that. You know what I remember most? Riding the open road. The smell of your hair. The touch of your skin. I remember you. But those days are gone. Now I'm a drifter, a bounty hunter, a mercenary. And for me, the broken road is all that's left. But I'll always remember.
Opening hour, Outlast 2 already feels more ambitious than its predecessor, even if the core remains faithfully similar. While the first Outlast was set within the grimy confines of a psychiatric hospital, Outlast 2 sets you loose in a rural Arizona desert overrun by a dangerous cult. The fact that you cover more ground than you did in Mount Massive Asylum gives the illusion of being on a long journey. I say illusion because, at least in the opening hour, that journey still feels relatively linear. I never had to backtrack or problem solve my way out of a tough spot since the story kept propelling me onward. But in a run and hide horror game like Outlast, that's not necessarily a bad thing. A higher quantity of key story moments prevented the pace from feeling sluggish, including a couple mysterious flashbacks set in a high school. Outlast 2 is also a gorgeous looking game, and its new rural setting pairs nicely with the eerie green tint of your camcorder's night vision. Of course, the use of a camcorder makes a faithful return in the sequel, but this time it has a handful of interesting new features. Most notable in my demo was an audio detection system that lets you pick up distant sounds, which I found most useful during a frantic chase sequence through a cornfield. Being able to record key moments for later viewing was also a nice way to sneak in occasional exposition. And of course, you still need to rely on night vision to see in the dark, which means constantly searching for replacement batteries. But your character also has an additional handicap: glasses. I played 2 separate scenes where his glasses get knocked off, leaving the world a blur until he could find them again. There's a moment in the first Outlast where you get separated from your camera, and I anticipate a few similarly nerve-wracking moments of vulnerability in Outlast 2. The actual horror of Outlast 2 is more complicated. It's easy to say it's exchanged one cliché for another in its transition from spooky hospital horror to rural religious horror, but there's also an uncanny psychological element that kept me from completely shrugging off its setting. After my demo, the developers told me that while the first Outlast sought to take away players' physical integrity, Outlast 2 is all about stealing your mental integrity. I don't quite know what's in store for the rest of Outlast 2, but it's certainly true that despite some of its more overplayed tropes, things aren't quite what they seem. For more on the upcoming Outlast 2, stay tuned to IGN.